I'm Michelle Burbick with No Jitter and Enterprise Connect, and I'm here with Ira Weinstein of Recon Research. And we're going to discuss a recent industry move that Ira equates to, quote, a fish choking on a fish. Ira, give us a rundown of the news and your perspective on it.
Cool. Thanks for having me today. So let's start here. The story starts about 4 months ago when Plantronics, headset manufacturer, headset behemoth, if you will, acquired video conferencing company Polycom for roughly $2 billion, right? So that's 4 months ago. Now, on November 8th, about a month ago, we hear from Reuters that Plantronics was exploring options, including potentially the sale of its company. Very interesting given this acquisition just a few months before. So Plantronics, fish, eating Polycom, another fish. Now, a few weeks later, November 23, so what is that, 3 weeks later or less, we hear some additional news that Logitech was in discussions to acquire Plantronics, all right? 2 days after that, on November 25th, we hear that both parties announced that the discussions had ended. Now, keeping it in context, this may not be news that rocks the entire planet, right? But in our cute little AV collaboration space, a deal like this with these kind of players, it's pretty major. So that's kind of the news.
All right. So why do you think that Logitech's acquisition of Plantronics would be a good fit?
Yeah, it's a great question. There's some interesting things here. So first of all, Logitech has done very well in the conferencing and meeting room space. They offer a solid line of very, let's say, high value, acceptable cost products, right? They also have a very strong line of consumer USB headsets. So you look at this, they've been pushing into the enterprise, they've been pushing up the value chain into larger rooms, into higher profile spaces. So an expansion into enterprise headsets makes a lot of sense. So then look at Plantronics, right? Plantronics has a well-performing, let's call it a field-proven line of professional headsets used by companies around the world. They also have a strong reputation, strong brand awareness. I mean, they've earned that. They are the headset people. So if I look at Logitech, buying Plantronics, specifically the headset product line, name, brand, and all that, would really propel them right into a major play in enterprise headsets. So given this, it certainly would make sense for Logitech to make that acquisition.
Okay, so then looking at the other side of it, what would be the downsides of the deal?
Yeah, so this is where it becomes challenging, right? So first of all, Logitech's primary interest, and this is our assessment, we didn't hear this from Logitech, but our assessment here is that Logitech would logically be interested in the headset side of Plantronics, not necessarily in the Polycom side. Now, that's not to say that Polycom doesn't bring value to the table. It's just that Logitech is all about software-based conferencing. They do cameras and they do USB solutions for audio. Polycom is more in the standards-based world. So there just isn't enough synergy between the focuses of the product lines. So if you look at that, Logitech would want half the company, and we wouldn't think that Plantronics would sell only part of its company, not a couple months after buying Polycom. Number two, we have channel concerns. This is a mindset discussion. The Logitech channel, they've done very well selling these USB AV accessories, group add-ons. We're not quite sure that those same partners would be interested or frankly successful selling more standards-based products like what Polycom offers, and then vice versa, right? Would the Plantronics Polycom channel partners want to sell the Logitech technology? We're not sure. So number three, cost. Now, there have been no official details released on this almost acquisition or failed attempt, but given that Plantronics just paid $2 billion for Polycom, we would reasonably expect Plantronics to want some kind of payback and ideally profit from that acquisition. So that's probably not what Logitech values most. Paying for the Polycom acquisition when they probably are more interested in the Plantronics side, that's a tough one. Next, debt. There's a lot of debt here. In order to buy Polycom, Plantronics took on some debt. So obviously that debt would have to be dealt with. And then the last one here, and I know this is a lot, we have concerns about the culture. Logitech has a device-centric, let's say, high-value, low-cost mentality. And I think Plantronics understands the device-centric mentality. But Polycom's a slightly different animal. High performance, let's say more expensive, lower volume products. That's what Polycom's about. So we're already watching Plantronics try to assimilate Polycom. What would it be having Logitech try to bring in Plantronics and Polycom? So there's a big cultural, not nightmare, but challenge there, bringing all these entities together. A lot of stuff, but those are our concerns.
Okay. Well, even with all of these downsides, you mentioned in a blog on Recon Research website that you think this deal may not be fully dead. We may see it again. So what's the bottom line? Are you expecting this deal to resurface, or is it dead and gone?
So the answer is, I don't know that I would say it will resurface, but I think there's potential. Specifically, if we look at the financials of the deal, when this deal first started out, Plantronics' shares were higher than they are now. And as those shares continue to shift around, the cost of the entire deal changes. So right now, it's a more cost-effective deal than it would have been 3 to 4 weeks ago. So it's possible that things keep moving around, and at some point, we reach a figure that's interesting to Logitech. I mean, my view, and again, this is speculation, is that this is about the numbers. I think Logitech knows the value of what they want to buy. They just want to pay the right price for it. So if the market keeps moving those capitalization numbers, we may see something here. So is it likely? Maybe not, but it certainly is possible depending upon the numbers.
All right. Well, thank you. That about does it for our discussion. I want to thank you, Ira, for your time and sharing your insights today.
Thank you. This was my pleasure. Have a great day.